Hi, my name is Houston Vines with Incite-tv, and today we are excited to start a brand new segment that we call Incite-tv Business Network. We're going to be talking to different business owners and people all around the community, telling you about their businesses and services. But first, our very first guest on the show is going to be Tyrell Clemons, Attorney Tyrell Clemons, a young man that I've known for a very long time. Tyrell, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Houston?
Wonderful, wonderful. I am glad to have you as our first guest. You know, we've been talking to you for a while.
I'm glad to be here.
Wanted to have you as our first guest on Incite Business. Now, what I wanted to do is to find out a little bit about you.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm going to smile a little bit and joke because I've known you for a while.
All right.
Actually, we know, I'm going to tell my age for a minute.
Don't tell mine, though.
I'm not going to tell yours, but when we first met, I was teaching martial arts.
That's right.
And I was your sensei.
That's right.
Back in the day. And you were a young kid.
That's it.
At the time. So that's exactly how we met. And coming back full circle was real interesting.
Oh, yeah.
One of my first questions I'm going to ask you about is, I know that with you being an attorney, it takes a lot of dedication.
Right.
A lot of time, energy, late night studying and papers and research. What is it that even made you decide to become an attorney?
Well, let's take it back. A lot of people think you want to become an attorney or a lawyer just to make a lot of money.
Right.
Honestly, that was not the real reason. I'm one of the few people, I've always known what I wanted to do. Okay. Ever since I was maybe 6, 7 years old, I knew I wanted to be an attorney. The reason I wanted to be a lawyer is because I love to argue. I mean, that's the reason most people want to be an attorney. Right, I love to argue. Right. When I was in school, I used to talk myself out of trouble. Okay. I used to talk other people out of trouble. Then I found out what an attorney was. I was like, you know what? I can do this for a living.
I'm already doing that anyway.
I can do this for a living. This is good. Okay. And I was an athlete. So as an athlete, I always like to have some type of competition. And being a lawyer is something like a competition. It's a sports. It's not sports, but it's a competition. Right. Right. You compare it to a football game or a basketball game or a boxing match. In boxing, you got two people. We're going against each other. Exactly. We have a referee. When you do it in the courtroom, you have another attorney going against another attorney. We have a judge who's the referee. So it's very much like a sports competition for me, which is right up and down my alley. So I like to argue, and I like sports.
Now, I know you said sports, and we're going to bring everybody into what brought you over to a lawyer. You mentioned sports, and you were an athlete in high school. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I played football. I played baseball. I wrestled. In football, I played multiple positions. I won awards in that. I wrestled. I was pretty good in that. I won multiple conference championships, multiple awards.
I'll take credit for that. You know.
You got a little bit in there. A little bit in there. In baseball, I played baseball multiple seasons, multiple leagues. The Jackie Robinson League, which is back in the day, I was one of the inaugural teams in the Jackie Robinson League. There you go. Okay. Then I went up to play the Babe Ruth League. So I played a lot of baseball, fall ball, summer ball, all along. I played basketball during the I think it was called Pitt County Schools back then, recreation basketball. Right. Okay. So I did a little bit of everything, and sports was something that I really enjoyed. Martial arts, as you know. Right. So I was pretty good with that.
And I got to say this about the martial arts.
Go ahead.
Because and we're going to get back to you being an attorney, and we're going to get into all that.
Go for it.
Now, I remember, you know, when I was teaching martial arts and you were one of the students, you were probably maybe 10?
Something like that.
10, 12, somewhere in that category. And I would have the 10-year-olds, and you guys got to understand this, how he was already destined to be this fighter in the court system or wherever. I had the 10-year-olds fighting with the 10, 11, 12-year-olds. And you weren't happy with that. You wanted a challenge because you were good and you wanted a challenge. So he wasn't happy until I was able to put him out there with some adults. So I had some guys in the class that were 15, 16, and 17, and you kind of hung in there with the boys. So I
got a couple links with you if I ain't mistaken. Yeah, it's been a while ago.
That was being neat. That was that neat. We ain't gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, the competition and the drive was already there.
Right.
And I want people to understand this, with you being an attorney or someone else being a doctor, a lawyer, or a plumber, you have to have that drive for it.
Oh, yeah.
And you had that drive at a young age. And I noticed how you're bringing that full fold with you being an attorney. How can you, like you said, you're doing it now. And you did it because you like to argue. And you know that, and you compared it to boxing.
Right.
With school.
Right.
Let me ask you this. I know you attended UNC Chapel Hill. and then you also went to law school. Tell us a little bit about where you went to law
I
school.
went to law school at North Carolina Central University.
Which is one of the great schools.
Oh yeah, I am 100% a believer that it's the best law school, definitely in North Carolina. Definitely in North Carolina. Okay. One of the reasons why I think it's the best law school in North Carolina is because you get practical experience. Now, I might haven't been out as long as some of the lawyers that practiced 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
However, because I went to Central in law school, I actually handled armed robbery cases in law school. I mean, I handled rape cases in law school. I've handled some very high profile cases in law school. So a lot of lawyers come out of law school, they don't know where to stand. They don't know which side to go on in the courtroom, where to be at. They're just in the courtroom.
Right.
But the thing about Central actually prepares us to know how to be a lawyer. Now, I didn't know how to charge people yet. I didn't know about the trust account. But I knew what to do when I got in the courtroom.
Right.
I mean, in fact, once I got my letter and I found out I was passing the bar and I knew I was going to be a lawyer,
yes.
I got sworn in the next day. I was in Superior Court the next day handling drug cases the next day because I knew how to do it. But I also had very good practical experience through my internships that I did. I mean, I interned with some lawyers in Durham. I interned with the Public Defender's Office, so I worked with public defenders. I also interned at the Orange County DA's office, so I was the DA for a while. I did a lot of work before I even got my official license. So once I got my license, I was already halfway running. I was already mid-stride. I just started doing it legally and had everything official once I got the bar license.
Okay.
But speaking of that driving thing you're talking about, now I said I started because I like to argue.
Right. Right.
Now I'm not going to say that's the only reason.
Exactly.
That was the initial drive at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old to want to be a lawyer. But as I got older and got a little more wise and found the laws and everything.
Right.
And if you really want to have an impact in the world, the law has a major way to influence people. I mean, from starting a business, law. Right. From just daily interactions, you get in trouble, get a speeding ticket, that's the law. Right. Somebody gets hurt at work, gets hurt driving in a car accident, the law. The law impacts so many aspects of your life, and a person like me who likes to do a little bit of everything, involved in everything, I want a profession that touches and reaches every other aspect of people's lives. And I'm a minister as well, so as an ordained minister, you definitely can't beat the law. People come in here and tell me stuff they would tell no one else. Right. People who would not even step foot inside of a church will break down and come talk to me and tell me about their life because I'm the lawyer. Right. So the law just reaches so many aspects of people's lives. That's one of the reasons I said I have to do that. Excellent,
excellent. Well, let me ask you this. Like you said, you talk about so many aspects of the law. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, there's a lot of people sometimes don't understand. Mm-hmm. That's one reason why we came to you. Right. We had talked for a while about trying to put some things together, and we got some other ideas that we're working on as well, because we really want people to understand how the law system works, and what their rights are. Right. And that's some of the questions I was going to have for you today. Just ask you about certain situations. Now, let me ask you this: what would you say things that you cover? Because attorneys can cover a variety of different things. What categories?
Well, you can be a jack of all trades or a master of none. Okay. So we can't say we specialize because you have to go through special things to actually say you specialize. But I do have certain practice areas that I focus on. My primary practice area is criminal law. Okay. So if you get a charge, something such as a robbery or larceny, murder, rape.
And you've covered those. You've covered those already.
Did a murder trial already. So I mean, just last week. Okay. Yesterday. So that's how there's so much going on. Right. I also do personal injury. That's if you get involved in a slip and fall, you get a dog bite, anything that causes harm to you through no
There's a law that covers that.
There's a law that covers everything. It's called tort. A tort is a civil wrong. There's so many of them. The primary one that we do is negligence, which is when someone does something to you or something happens through no fault of your own. Right. Primary tenets of negligence are duty, breach, proximate cause, and damages. Somebody has a duty to do something for you. They breach that duty, which in some way causes you some type of a damage. I mean, I can break that down, but that's the primary aspects of negligence. Right. Slip and falls, I mean, the person has a duty to keep the place safe. Right. They breach that duty.
I've seen that, like you say, you've seen examples of that where, whether it's a restaurant or a business, and they have water on the floor for whatever reason, but they didn't have anything out to warn people about it. And some people slip and fall and they get hurt, but they're more embarrassed, so they're ready to go. Right. But that's not really the best thing to do.
I've had those cases. I had people who slipped and fell, broke their arm, and then they it's on camera, it's on video, and they're initially just bruised ego.
Right.
But then they realize this is much more serious than a bruised ego. Sometimes people just want to leave and don't want to think about it. But if you realize there's actually a legitimate claim there. I mean, people can walk away with getting financial support for the injury they had,
right.
But sometimes they're so quick to try to get
just
out there
leave.
because of the bruised ego.
Right.
They don't realize that there's something else that can happen.
Right.
Now, I'm not one of these guys who just wants to try to find something that happens, find some
right.
type of injury, but they happen, and there's something that needs to be done to take care of those injuries and things that happen. I mean, we have insurance out there for that purpose. When people get hurt, we need to make sure we do what's necessary to get them the support and help they need.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
let me finish up.
Sure.
I got personal injury. I also have traffic. So if you get a speeding ticket,
okay.
One of the main things that we do at the Clemons Law Firm is help restore people's license. I mean, I've had people who haven't driven since 1989 legally. They've been driving, but they haven't driven legally. You got to put that out there, legally.
Right.
I got people say, as long as I got license, I'm gonna drive. As long as I got keys, I'm gonna drive. But they don't drive legally. So that's one thing we help restoring the license. There's so many ways you can get your license back. So many ways you can lose your license, and people don't realize that. Right. And the last thing that I do, my other two primary areas are juvenile law, working with kids who are charged with crime, helping them get back in school, and civil rights. And civil rights is a controversial one. A lot of people don't like the civil rights cases. I mean, I have cases now against police officers, sheriff's departments, and things of that nature. If you get treated unfairly at work because of your race, because of your age, because of your religion, or something that way. So I help fight for those rights.
There are laws for that as well.
There's laws for everything. Like I told you, from a young age, I always want to take on the big challenges, and civil rights is one of the biggest challenges that we'll ever have in the legal world.
Okay. So, and one reason why we wanted to do this show, like you said, to educate the community.
Right.
And if they have questions, I know that you're the type of lawyer that you like, give me a call.
Right.
Let's set something up and let's talk about it. Because a lot of times they don't look at the big picture.
Right.
Whether it's a case, at work, or whether it's a slip and fall,
right,
or whether it's a traffic ticket. Because, I've asked you some questions and people have talked to you about different things. And I've seen cases, that I want to talk to you about where I've seen people, I'm like, I know that guy is driving. Why won't he take the time to get his license? It's not cheap. It's not like it's $20 and you're great. You got to do some work.
Well, sometimes people don't know how much it costs.
Right.
I mean, there was a judge we had in Pitt County who always told a story. His story is long. I'm going to do it in like 45 seconds. Okay. He always told a story about this old plumber. He had a beach house down in the beach, some Wrightsville Beach somewhere. And every summer every winter you had to get the place winterized. And he was like, don't call no plumber, you need to call old Farmer Joe. Farmer Joe will winterize your place better than any plumber in the world. He's cheaper than any plumber. So he kept going to Farmer Joe. Farmer Joe charged him a certain fee. Farmer Joe charged him a certain fee. He kept going. And one day Farmer Joe got sick. He's like, oh man, I can't go Farmer Joe. I need to call me a plumber. The plumber not only did it for cheaper than Farmer Joe, he did it faster than Farmer Joe. The basic moral of the story is you don't know how much something costs until you ask. So a lot of folks are scared to ask an attorney how much something's going to cost because they think that we're going to be so expensive. But it's tough times out there, and attorneys are not going to kill people. At least not one in my office. Right. We're not going to kill you. We're going to work with you to help you put you in a position to get you where you need to be without trying to break your pocketbook. We want to help you. You know you don't got millions of dollars
to get your license fixed. You have to make a living just like anyone else.
Oh yeah, you got to pay for the lights.
There you go.
You got to pay for the lights. You got to keep everybody employed.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to be coming back. We're going to talk to you some more, ask you some more questions. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Incite-tv Business Networking is a fantastic show that we're doing. And you know what? We'll be back right after this. Hi, my name is Houston Vines with Incite-tv, and we're back with another segment. We're going to be talking with Tyrell Clemons, Attorney Tyrell Clemons, and asking him a lot of different questions about his law practice and him being a brand new attorney here in North Carolina. And he's been here practicing for a while, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, look, let me ask you a couple of questions. One of the questions I wanted to ask you is, we talked about how some people are afraid to call. In the last segment, you talked about how people don't know what the price is until you ask.
Right.
And they may be shocked to find out it's not as bad or as expensive as they thought it would be. But then let me ask you this. Give me an example of a case you may have worked on, and some people may be not so much familiar with the case, but a situation.
Okay.
So just give me a situation of something.
I'll give you a couple situations, but real quick before I get to that,
Okay.
about people, I have actually had people so shocked. They were like, "Is that it? Is that all?" I'm like, "What do you want me to charge you more money?" I mean,
I'll do it.
I can charge you more if you want to pay more.
Right.
But let me see, you want a situation of something that a lot of people have dealt with. One of the most common things that people deal with, the average day-to-day person, is speeding ticket.
Right.
People come into my office all the time asking, "Should I hire you for a speeding ticket? I mean, can I just go to the courtroom and take care of it myself? I mean, it's a speeding ticket." And it's a double-edged sword. Can you take care of a speeding ticket yourself? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Right.
Chris Rock said you can drive a car with your feet if you want to, but don't make it a good idea. I mean, just because you can do it doesn't mean it's the smartest thing to do.
Right.
Because very few people know there's so many ways you can lose your license with a speeding ticket. A lot of folks don't know the insurance impact. They don't know the DMV impact. They don't know a lot of things that can happen. You're not paying me simply because it's easy to do. You're paying me because of my knowledge,
Right.
because I know how to handle it, because I know why I should do something, why I should get a PJC, why I shouldn't get a PJC. Because to use a PJC, the thing you hear all the time, can be malpractice to use it the wrong time, in the wrong way. And I fix people making mistakes all the time. Mom always said, if you want to do it right the first time.
Right.
And when you want to do it right the first time, you need to hire somebody who knows what they're doing instead of going in there and experimenting. I see people come into the courtroom all the time. Mr. DA, can I get this 9 over? But they don't know why they need to get a 9 over. They don't know about speeding in the school zone now has a higher penalty than they used to.
Right.
They don't know about all this stuff. And one of the things that's so beneficial about hiring a lawyer is that we know. So that's kind of one of the most common things that I get. Why should I hire a lawyer for a speeding ticket? But it's because one insurance point can increase your insurance by 25% for 3 years. Now, 25% to some people ain't a whole lot, but now you talk about
25% to me.
That's 25. That could be $25 a month.
Right.
For 3 years.
Right.
Now I'm not a mathematician, but $25 a month, that's 10 months. That's $250 a year already. That's just 10 months. And you add it times 3 years, that's going to be
Yeah. Exactly.
$750. That's $1,000. You can pay a lawyer one time and save yourself $750. Easy.
That makes sense.
So that's just one. I mean, and there's some situations that occur that are not regular occurrences. I mean, I've handled cases such as murders and rape cases that people don't go through. But one of the most common crazy situations other than speeding tickets is assault on female.
Wow.
Assault on the female is one that happens a lot.
That is true. That is true.
Now, sometimes, unfortunately, the guy does hit the girl. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, it's not that situation.
Right.
I've handled cases where the girl was mad because the guy didn't pay his phone bill, because she didn't pay her phone bill.
Right.
I mean, I've had a situation where the girl's mad because the guy has a new girlfriend.
Right.
So it's good to have someone who's experienced these situations and knows how to handle them. And that's one of the benefits of having a lawyer who's ready to go to trial. Because I'm a trial lawyer and
right.
I love trying cases. Another reason I became a lawyer is because I like wearing suits and I love standing in front of people and arguing the case.
Gotcha.
I mean, I love standing in front of a 12 people in the jury and arguing. And very few lawyers like doing that now. And that's one thing that I love.
That was something that I noticed that certain people, I've heard people talk about in the past, that you have to understand if you get an attorney, you want one that does not mind going to trial.
Oh, yeah.
Because I noticed there's a lot of attorneys that have made a lot of money by settling cases. And it may not always be in your best interest. It's that they're great at settling cases.
Right.
And from what I'm understanding, you don't mind.
Oh, I love trying cases.
You don't mind going to trial.
I had a trial man. I keep saying last week. It's feeling like that's how hard I work. I feel
Right.
like last week. I had a attempted murder trial just yesterday. Came out not guilty. Yay.
Right.
But what happened with that case, it's a very difficult case. And so many lawyers who had that case will be trying to find a way to cut a deal. Right. But when you have a client that says, I'm not guilty, I don't want to plead guilty, I don't want to plead guilty, I don't want to plead guilty, if you have a lawyer that's not ready and not willing to go to trial, you're going to have a problem. I mean, it was very bad facts in this case. I mean, just to give you a quick brief facts, I mean, it was a little argument at a party. After the party, it was an after party. The victim in this case said he saw my client pull a silver handgun and shoot him 3 times. He said he saw him shoot him 3 times. Right. We had 4 or 5 other girls who came in and they said, I saw him shoot him 3 times. They saw my client shoot him 3 times.
So wait a minute now. if they all saw this,
Well, I mean, this is what makes an attempted murder case, attempted first-degree murder, a lot more difficult than a murder. In a murder case, the victim's dead. You don't have anybody jumping up and down and say, I saw him shooting because he's dead. But in an attempted first-degree murder, he's still facing practically life, 30, 40 years minimum.
Right.
He's still facing that. But you have a victim who is alive who can say what he saw.
Right.
And we found ways to make it happen.
Right.
I tell people that it's very much like going to surgery. Being a trial lawyer is like being a surgeon. As a surgeon, you have to kind of pick and choose where you cut. You have to pick and choose when to cut. Stressful situations can occur. Things can happen. Things can change that you weren't expecting. In a trial, you think someone's going to say something. They don't say what you want them to say. Then you have to react. So it's very much like being a surgeon. And as being a good surgeon, you can respond and react to anything that happens. And I think I had a successful surgery this week.
Excellent, excellent. Well, let me ask you this. You know, you talked about a variety of different things as far as if a situation like that, let me say, if a situation like that happens to someone, like I'll use that example. They went to a party, they were having a great time, something happens, whether they had anything to do with it or not, but they know it's the people are coming their way.
Right.
What would be the first thing you say? I know you say call you, because you can go ahead and start the ball rolling to help protect them, or at least help them understand their situation, their law.
It actually starts before you call me. And I hate to say it like this, I'm not racist by any means, but the African American people, black people, are very bad at this. It's your attitude. It's your attitude.
We've talked about that.
A lot of people have a bad attitude, which draws extra and unwanted. What you stop me for, man? I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing with me. What do what? It come black. All that type stuff.
Right.
You do not need to have an extra attitude.
Right.
Because that draws unwanted attention to you. So a lot of times it starts simply with having the right attitude. Because you can bring extra drama to yourself, extra stress to yourself, and you can bring the police coming down on your heart because they don't know exactly what you're going to do, what you're going to say. You're a big, crazy-looking black guy now. That's what they're thinking in their mind.
Right.
So you got to find a way to control your attitude.
Right.
That can help so many situations. Unfortunately, in America, I've been stopped for fitting the description of someone who committed an armed robbery. I've been stopped for being
a variety of different things.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been there, but the situation is, I had the right attitude.
Right.
I mean, I wasn't antagonistic. I wasn't actually aggressive. How you doing today, sir? I mean, you gotta have the right attitude, and a lot of these situations can be fixed or they can be handled if you have the right attitude. However, if it gets too far gone, and then you actually are arrested, don't talk. Stop talking.
I know that you mentioned that before. You like. It's not, because they're going to ask you questions.
You don't got to talk.
And you don't have to say a word. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I know there's somewhere in there that says you have the right to remain silent. And they tell you that for a reason.
Use that right.
Use that right. Hush, be quiet until you can talk to your attorney. But a lot of times people just kind of want to flare off.
Well, here's the problem.
Okay.
Most people think they're special. I mean, everybody got that.
I thought it was.
I'm special. You know, I'm special in my own. Everybody is special in their own right, but they think that they're going to believe me.
Right.
I'm going to tell them my story, and they're going to believe me because I'm special.
Right.
But in all honesty, it might be better for you to sit down and shut up.
I like the way you put it.
I mean, because most people are not that special. They think that because they're innocent, that their story is going to be believed. But there's a lot of innocent people who find themselves in prison because of making mistakes early on in the process. Just because you are innocent. And here's another one. Folks think, I'm not guilty. I don't need no lawyer. I'm not guilty. I ain't do nothing wrong. I don't need no lawyer. But when you're not guilty, you need a lawyer more.
Right.
Man, that's one of the main things. They think they can keep talking because they're innocent. No, be quiet. If you're innocent, let the lawyer do his job.
And I think that comes from our upbringing sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Because growing up, your mom said, "Well, if you tell the truth, it set you free."
The truth shall set you free.
And it does not happen in the court of law. That doesn't work that way.
But the truth isn't always going to come out in the court of law.
Right.
Now, I often say there's three sides to every story. I tell my clients this all the time. What you say, what they say, and whatever the judge or jury is going to believe. The truth doesn't always come out. The Lord knows the truth, but sometimes the Lord ain't the one who will be judging you right now in this courtroom. We got to make sure just because your story is true, that story really don't sound that good.
I understand.
It really don't sound that. So we need to make sure we tailor your true story in a way, or say your true story in a way that it will be believed by the third party.
Right.
And that's why we got to make sure you don't talk, because yeah, it's true that you did go to the party, you were drunk at the party, but now when you're saying you're drunk, they're not going to believe everything you said because you went out and started talking about how drunk you were. Let's talk about what actually happened. I went to the party and somebody did this, they did that. Take that drunk part out. You ain't got to mention that you were drunk. That throws the whole. But when you're telling the truth, you just start blabbing.
Everything.
And when you start blabbing, that puts you in a dangerous position.
Well, you know what? Hold that thought, because we're going to be coming back with, you know, I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
And you know this. And I think this is something that the community needs. We need to understand the laws, understand your rights. And with Attorney Tyrell Clemons, we're going to be doing that. Incite-tv, we'll be back right after this. Hi, my name is Houston Vines with Incite-tv Business Network, and here with Tyrell Clemons, having a fantastic time, and great show, great show. Well, Tyrell, let me ask you a question. If you had, you know, a minute to talk to people and give them advice on certain things, look right into the camera and just tell them what you would like to say.
The biggest thing that I can tell anybody, the biggest thing is if you have any type of issue, you need to call someone that knows about the issue. You need to call a lawyer. If you have a speeding ticket, don't handle it yourself, call a lawyer. If you get in a car accident, don't try to handle it yourself, call a lawyer. People get paid every day to do their specialty. If your car gets broke down, you don't fix it, you call a mechanic. If you get sick, you don't just take any chicken soup recipe, you call a doctor. If you have a legal problem, call someone who is a legal specialist, call a lawyer. They will make sure your situation gets handled.
Absolutely, I couldn't say it better myself.
Well, I'll try.
Once again, Incite-tv, this is called Incite-tv Business Network, and we're going to be talking to different businesses. We're going to be looking for different businesses to talk to as well, so if you want to get in contact with us or find out more, please log in to incite-tv.net, and you can find out more about us. And we'll be back with another segment and another show sometime very soon. Houston Vines, Incite-tv. Have a great evening.